What up? It's your boy. Shameful. I'm crying. I'm crying. Tears of joy, boys, gals. How you doing? How you doing? I'm gonna wear the shade so I can look like a badass while I cry. Tears of joys for all the whales. Iceland is moving to end whale hunting, and I would like to shout out my ancestors and my blood. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to lead by examples of great integrity. Every time, somebody else does something, someone else or another country is going to ask why, you know? And that question of why is going to get a truthful, emotionally intelligent answer that, is going to strike a chord with you, rather. And you're going to want to follow suit because of how true your conscience just gleams with love for said statement or said policy changes. Thank you so much. It was barely last week I was crying on camera saying, my activist the first time I ever saw the sea shepherd in the middle of the ocean, a tiny little vessel, some brave men and women trying to save whales' lives from these huge, monstrous ships, thousands of times bigger than the Sea Shepherd. Back in 1989, they had just a small little vessel. And they'd go out in the middle of the ocean and try and save some whales' lives. I'm not going to sit there and name countries, but some of the whaling vessels were from weren't Canadian or American. They were probably Russian or Chinese whaling vessels. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on it. I'm probably right of when I said one of those. But they were shooting them with water cannons. The massive vessel was trying to actually sink the Sea Shepherd. And thankfully there was some there used to be some real men and women that would stand up in front of a news camera and tell you the truth. And that's the only reason that I know about the Sea Shepherd is because they could have died that day and there would be no more Sea Shepherd. For whatever reason, their little vessel didn't sink. It's an evil act to try and sink they were trying to literally kill people on a boat back in '89. They were trying to sink that boat, and somebody gave the A-OK. But little did they know that they were being recorded, and the footage would make it to North American people all over. And when we caught wind of what they were doing, the Sea Shepherd was doing to help, while the evil whaling vessel by corporation was there to kill not only the whales, but any activists who got in their way. Let me tell you, they sparked a fire in me that I'll never burn out. And I was so scared for those adults that were trying to help the animals, the whales. And I remember feeling helpless. And then I remember thinking, what if I was on board that fucker, And I got really scared and I got really emotional, I think I was the only one crying in my family. There's about 10 family members in the house at my Auntie Joy's that day. And I was the only. There was my aunts were gasping. My mom and my Auntie Joy were gasping. There may have been a couple tears shed, but I was bawling. I was very sad. I was like, oh no, I was getting up close on the TV and a little panicking, because it's like, these good people were there. It was breaking news, ABC had put out this story. It was so beautiful, you know. If I can ever find that footage, I will share that footage every single day that I come live. Because that story it changed me forever. And it made me want to stick up for those that were being hurt by rich evil. And I don't think I'll ever lose that feeling that I felt. It was a feeling of discomfort, a feeling of, I was very angry. And I'll never forget the way I felt that day, 31 years ago. I was a 9-year-old boy. See, I have a timeline that I base this off. Yes, I was in an accident, and yes, I do say I forget a lot of stuff, but I actually had only just recently moved to this area, and it had maybe been a year, so the year was 89. See, there's that moment. It's kind of then is where my bar for forgetfulness, anything before that, I only have little pieces of memories from childhood. Good or bad, it's less visible to me now. So anything over 30 years, you start to fade. Your memory fades. I think I have an excellent memory, but I think anything after 30 years, your memory fades. You can have, little 10-second clips, but I guess it depends on how eventful the memory is. The events that took place on that day, maybe somebody you loved was hurt or got married or something, so it's a little closer to you, to being able to forget. Well, good news coming out of Iceland. I'm going to have to start tagging Iceland on my social media and thank the government of Iceland and the fisheries of Iceland for doing the right thing. Who knows how few whales are left? Who knows what they know why? Why now? Why are they stopping hunting whales now? I am curious of that. If there are so few left, or if they are endangered, or if they're being, I hear weird things going on with militaries using sharks and dolphins and whales for horrible military operations, and it breaks my heart, They say wars are necessary in order to have peace. But if you look at war entirely, there's a different way to handle evil now. And we do it all the time. It's called espionage. You can get in and get out. You can fuck up a dictator so fast now. Plus money talks, if you put out enough money for an evil dictator to be dethroned, you can have that done overnight. It's easier than ever before, People value money more than ever over life. So, don't be fooled. There is no need to go to war. We can simply put out an arrest warrant and a reward of 50 million for the capture of anyone hunting whales. And overnight we could have peace in the seas. Please, everybody, do what you can to always have a backbone. The day you lose a backbone, hey, the day you earn your backbone, you try and find a country, let alone a person, try and find a country to take your backbone away from you. They can't. There is so much power within you. You have to use it wisely. Okay? Rastafari. Peace. I love whales so much. I love sharks, chickens, cats, dogs, goats, pigs, sheep, grasshoppers, snakes, lizards, you name it. I love you. Peace.